Okay, so here we have my Zygonisia, which is a hybrid of an Agonesia and a Zygopetalum. I don't know if I'm saying those right. But this is a hybrid. Some are also called the blue something or others, the bluebird. Yeah, bluebird orchid. This one is very purpley. The flowers are starting to come off. Well, not come off, but they're starting to wilt. The flowers are not looking as pretty as they once did. But the leaves are amazing on this plant. It has little round pseudobulbs that are just adorable. And I'm going to be repotting this. These plants, the Agonesia parent, is a very water-loving plant from the Amazon. The Zygopetalum is the other parent, and it also likes water. So this plant really needs a water-retaining, moisture-retaining type of substrate. I'm going to do a mix with sphagnum moss and maybe some bark and perlite. Right now, this plant is, you can see some of its roots. Some of the new roots are green. There's even more new roots in there. Took it out of the pot and looked at it. But it's planted in a peat moss type mix with perlite. And definitely you're going to want to plant these in a plastic pot because you want to retain as much moisture as possible. These are kind of a swampy type of plant. So let's get to repotting. As long as your root system is healthy and you don't cut that many roots, hopefully I won't have that many dead roots, I won't feel the need to cut this flower spike. I've repotted a few flowers without cutting the flower spike. I'm just going to smush. It looks like it was in maybe potting soil. This medium, oh, I broke a root. This medium is great at retaining moisture, not great at letting the roots breathe. I have made my own pot for this plant. Yeah, this is super wet, gross. I don't know. Dirt, strange. So I'm going to keep at this plant, massaging the roots, massage. If I find the roots are too root bound, I will dunk this plant in water. I will get my little bucket, I'll fill my bucket with some temperate water, and I will dunk this plant, loosening up the dirt and loosening the roots. Wet roots are more forgiving than dry roots. Wet roots won't break off as easily as dry roots. So, pretty healthy. I have some green ones, and I have some new growth on some of the roots. So I've got a little bit of a root wad in here. These roots are kind of questionable, but all in all, I had one clearly gross, rotten one, but that was it. So this is the pot it was in. This is the pot I just made for it. I put rocks in the bottom for a little extra aeration. Let's see how it fits. It's going to be a nice snug fit for sure. Yeah, pretty snug. Since it has pseudobulbs, I'm going to try to position it. This looks like the last pseudobulb that's kind of being absorbed into the plant. This is my newest pseudobulb. That's the newest pseudobulb. So I'm going to try to position it so that the new pseudobulb has room to grow. I kind of would have liked to use a bigger pot. Maybe a slightly bigger pot, but I don't have one, so... Oh. The mix I'm putting together is perlite. I also put some soil in there, just a little bit, because Zygopetalums, they do live in trees, but they've also been known to live in the ground as well. I don't know exactly what this hybrid is. I don't know exactly who the parents are, so I'm just putting a little bit of dirt in there, It's not going to hurt because this plant likes to stay soggy. Just a little bit of dirt. Anyways, I live in a dry climate, so I'm going to add some fine grade bark. Nice fine grade bark. Add some of that to my mix. Just a few handfuls. Mix it up. Nice. I also have perlite in there. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, sprinkle more. The bark dries out really fast. So the dirt will keep it moist. But this stuff, this is good sphagnum moss. This sphagnum moss is long fiber, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So this sphagnum moss is great for retaining moisture. I love using sphagnum moss. Some people don't like using sphagnum moss. Whatever works for you. I mean, really, it depends on your climate. I'm going to sterilize these scissors. I'm not working in a very sterile environment, so I just sterilize them by bringing a torch to it. Okay, now I'm going to cut up some of these so that it's easier to get in and around my root system. Okay, so that's my mix. I put a lot of sphagnum moss in there, but I have sphagnum moss, dirt, and perlite and sphagnum moss. You know, it depends on what works for your environment. Some people might swear by one type of plant medium, others might swear by a different type of plant medium. There's really no, as long as your plants like it, they're doing okay. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to put my plant in on top of that. Get all those roots in there. Really could use a bigger pot, but what are you going to do? Alright, now I'm going to start just trying to put all this, and I'm using dry. I like to have my medium dry. Make it a mess. You're going to make a mess. So I put paper down. Shake it. I'm going to add more of the fine stuff. Oh, such a mess. Work on the newspaper. I'm in my kitchen. Shake down all the little fine bits. Shake it! Alright. That is not how I wanted the plant to be positioned. This is my new suitable. I need my new suitable to have more space. So, I'm going to try to move. And then what I'm going to do, this is what I do for my orchids in my environment. I washed this orchid's roots. I dipped it, soaked it, so the roots were wet. Now I put dry mix on those roots. Totally dry mix. I mean, everything was dry about this mix. What I do with my dry mix is I soak my plant. I'm going to soak it up, put it in water, and let it sit. And since this is a water-loving type of orchid, it won't hurt it to give it a little extra water. And this has some good drainage holes. I'm going to go give her a nice dip in the bucket. Thank you for watching the Zygonisia repotting special. Love this plant. This is from Trader Joe's, by the way. These pointy leaves. So gorgeous. Yeah, so I'll have to do an update on it. See how it does. Thanks.